Hello, I'm Jenny Lewis, and you are watching the AU Review.
Well, Jenny, welcome back to Sydney.
Thanks, Johnny.
Third time Australia, I believe. Is that right?
Third time's a charm.
And how's the third time compared to your other expeditions to Australia?
Well, new record, different band than the last time I was here. I was here with Jenny and Johnny, my side project / retirement fund band that I have with my boyfriend.
Yep.
And instead of, buying an RV and driving across the United States, we made a power pop record and came to Australia.
It's a much more fun way, isn't it, of like doing things, of like getting an RV across the States.
Well, I don't vacation typically, so I always have to like piggyback a vacation on work. I like to go on tour and then maybe take a day to hang out.
Yeah. So talk about touring the Voyager. It was released last year. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
Third solo album of yours. I guess thinking back to the recording process, do you think this was actually a much easier process than your first two solo records?
I would say exactly the opposite.
Right.
And I think it was just because it came about at a sort of transitional time for me, where a lot of things in my real life were sort of colliding.
Yeah.
And so it took me a really long time from the moment I started writing the record to completion, like 6 years. And so to be out here now touring it, it's kind of a relief, to be able to sing the songs, kind of having taken so long to get them down.
And now you've been on the road for obviously more than 12 months now. Do you find the songs have actually taken on a different life of its own when you perform it for so long on stage, on such a long tour?
Well, songs evolve over time, and I'm starting to dip back into some of the Rilo Kiley songs from 10, 12 years ago. And it's funny how the meanings kind of evolve. And in some ways, I'm like a psychic songwriter, where I'll write something and then 5 years later it'll kind of come true. It's really weird.
Do you actually have a checklist of things that you go, okay, that's happened, yeah, that's happened?
No, but I should, and let me just tell you, they're not all positive.
Coming to Australia is that part of psychic? Yeah, coming to Australia, tick that off the list.
Yeah, I should just like put that in a lyric, like I will be back in Australia in 2018.
Obviously, before you came to Sydney, you had a show down in Melbourne with Ryan Adams. How was that? How was the show down in Melbourne?
We played 2 shows together. I opened for Ryan in Melbourne. Shows were great, and I've been playing with him on and off for about a year now. He produced a good portion of the Voyager with Mike Viola, who's his guitar player in his band, which I think they're calling themselves the Rats now. They were the Shining, but I think now they're the Rats. But you'll have to ask him about that. So I've been playing with him, and he'll sometimes come up and play guitar. I'll sit in and sing with him. It's kind of like a continuation of, making the record at his studio, Paxam.
And this collaboration you've had with Ryan is, how did, I guess, for you musically, like, how's that been for you, working with someone like Ryan, producing and now playing live? I guess I'm just curious to know, like, for you musically, what's it like?
Well, I really admire him musically, and I've learned so much just standing on the side of the stage watching him play. He puts on an amazing show. It sounds perfect up there. There's so much like depth and nuance to his performance. And being in the studio, I really needed someone to kind of help me get out of my own head. And he was the perfect person to do that. It's as if he like grabbed me and like he spun me around and then sort of like pushed me towards the microphone, and I was disoriented and somehow able to, sing my songs.
But in a good way, though.
No, in a great way. Because sometimes if you're too controlling, if you're too calculated, if you have too much of an idea as to what you want to do, you can kind of fall prey to that. You know, to arrive somewhere and not know and create is also a really cool way of making music.
Now, I'm thinking about tonight. We're at the Metro Theatre right now. Your solo performance is tonight. It got upgraded to the venue from Newtown Social to Metro, a bigger theatre. So what's your thoughts about playing in Sydney? Obviously your fan base is building all the time. It's sold out tonight, isn't it? Sold out tonight?
I don't know if it's sold out, Johnny, but I will say that this has never happened to me before, where I've never upgraded from a smaller venue to a bigger venue. I've downgraded to a smaller venue from a bigger venue. So this is unprecedented. Thank you, Sydney. I don't know what it is about you guys, but I totally appreciate it.
And we know great. This weekend, Splendour In The Grass festival up at Byron. Is that your first time playing Splendour?
It is. I've played the Laneway Festival, which I loved, and the V-Fest, but this is my first time at Splendour, but I've been hearing about it for many years.
And after Splendour, you've off you go to Japan. You've got Fuji Rock, is that right?
Yeah, which is my second time playing Fuji Rock. The first time I played, I was with the Watson twins. I was touring Rabbit Fur Coat, and we had a very early slot in the middle of the day, and at the last moment, clap your hands and say, yeah, do you remember that band?
Yeah, I do.
They canceled, and we got their time slot, which was prime, just like perfect, and we played for thousands of Japanese fans who had never heard of us, and it was the most magical festival experience. So I guess that was an upgrade as well.
Yes, it is. There we go. We got
but not based on my own merits. It was just sort of happenstance.
But you'll take it. You take that.
Oh, I'll take whatever I can get at this point.
After Fuji Rock, what's ahead for you for 2015? What's on the horizon?
Well, I'm wrapping up touring the Voyager in September. I have a show playing before Elton John in Atlanta, Georgia.
Wow.
And then it's, back to the tunes. Got to finish those songs, make a new record.
The fourth album.
The fourth solo record.
And any idea of what you want the record to sound like, or what kind of songs you want to be in that record, or what sort of themes you're thinking so far for the record?
Well, I've played a couple of new ones out on the road with this band. Yeah, I don't, it really depends on who I'll end up working with. But I'm open, as long as I can finish the tunes, then I'm open to whoever I get to collaborate with.
Well, Jenny Lewis, it's wonderful to have you back in Australia.
Thanks.
Please come back fourth time. 2018. You heard it here first.
And got a date.
Best of luck for Splendour. Best of luck at Fuji Rock and for the rest of the year. And we can't wait to see what's on the horizon for you.
Thanks.